And we are live. So, tell me who you are, what's your name, and what do you do?
My name's Julio. Last name starts with a B. Not gonna give that one out, No secrets, just don't need to know. Some people call me Jules, some people call me Julio. Don't really matter to me. As far as what I do, it's just right now trying to figure out and enjoy life.
All
That's
right.
all it really is.
And let me ask you this, where do you find yourself enjoying right now the most?
Something I feel that I've lacked uh, my adult life, and that's true free time. I feel like I've been programmed to be a workhorse at one point in my life, and it's been like that since. But right now, it's just enjoying my free time for once.
Do you feel like you started at a young age, like working? Or why do you feel like you've been working like a workhorse in a sense?
I'd say yeah. I mean, my first actual job was 16. I decided to drop out of high school and went into a very physically demanding and not, a job with no real gateway out or future in it.
Oh shit. What was that exactly?
I used to work at a car wash in La Mesa. That's still there.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
And how'd you like that?
I mean, again, when you're 16 and you decide to drop out and you're getting money every week, at that point, it's cool. It gave me everything I wanted right away, or everything I thought I wanted. It was cool for a little bit, but then I realized that it's not what I wanted and it wasn't going to take me anywhere.
Oh shit. So, what made you want to drop out though? If I couldn't ask that.
Yeah, I mean, I never really had an issue with school, academically. It's just at one point I truly felt like it wasn't helping me out in any way. A lot of the stuff that I felt like I was learning, I truly felt like it doesn't get applied to the real world, and I didn't feel much of a challenge at school. So it's like, why would I do this when I can just start making, you know,
Money.
money somewhere and start trying to do other stuff and work my way out of it.
Was there any backlash from your family when you decided to do this? Like break the news that you're stopping going to school?
Oh hell yeah! I mean, I ended up going back and getting a GED, but
Mm.
yeah, just like anything, I feel like it's a tradition at one point. You're a standard that, kids go to school, they get a career, and then they move on with life. At least with Hispanics, especially with Hispanics who, have come to this country to give their family a better life, opportunities and whatnot.
Mm.
Their standard
Mm,
mentality is
really?
going to school. Your job's going to school.
No.
So yeah, there was backlash for sure.
And now that you're like, all right, you got your GED. What was your next job? What was your next step for yourself?
I mean, to me, at that younger age, I was still motivated by money. And one of the first things that came across to me because I enjoyed being around cars was car sales.
Mm.
So my second job ever was being a car salesman at Mitsubishi Motors in El Cajon, which
Mm.
was also not fun.
So you're a shark, in a
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
And why is that? And why would you say it wasn't fun?
There's a lot of back and forth and stuff that's not really known. There's always that stigma of, car salesmen being skeezy people, this
Mm-hmm.
and that. And in a sense, they are, but that's the whole
Purpose.
purpose of the trade. I mean, that's any sales job. You have to go out there and get people by the throat and, get your money. That's how you get paid.
Mm.
It's commissions, you don't go out there for fun. You got to go out there and get money. And it took a while for me to, kind of get adjusted to it, but I felt like it ended up developing
A lot
pretty
more.
good. Yeah.
While you were working there, did you have your tattoos by then, or no? Were you still
Nah,
naked?
I was still naked. I was still a baby. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I did have one tattoo.
Mm.
One because I got my first tattoo when I was 18, and then I got one a couple months after that a friend did. So, but they weren't visible because they were on my leg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had one on my calf and then sadly one on my ankle.
What's the one on your ankle?
I won't show it because I'd consider it an intimate, cause especially because my buddy did it back in high school. But it's a
Mm.
slice of pizza.
Nothing wrong with that. Pizza's life.
But he'd never tattooed anyone besides himself.
It's-
But yeah, pizza is life. The funny thing is, it's upside down,
oh,
so it
okay.
looks like a pyramid. Yeah, but no, it's it's good times.
Abstract right there. It's an
Yeah,
abstract piece.
it's
Okay.
good times.
What was your first piece then?
My first piece was the bear I have on my calf.
In your calf. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a bear with a snake tongue.
And
Yeah.
what was the reason for that one? Just cause.
Being 18 and thinking shit look cool. You know.
Still looks cool. Better than mine.
Uh,
Yeah. So, all right, we went to cars,
yeah.
and after that, what made you get out of it, or did you have any like bad incidents where you're like saying "fuck this shit, this isn't for me" type of thing, or you just kept on going?
I kept on going with it. I left that dealership after a couple months. The manager that actually hired me, I got along with him very well, and he actually convinced me to follow him somewhere.
Mhm.
Same thing, you get influenced by the money, talking about higher commissions and bonuses and this and that. And I said, okay, cool. So I was about 18, 19, and I ended up moving from San Diego. I live in El Cajon. I ended up moving from San Diego to Riverside, kind of,
Yeah, big difference.
and it was literally like, he told me about it. I thought about it for 2 days. I still remember it was Saturday at like 2 p.m. They were about to bring food, and I said, you know what? Can I cuss on this?
Yeah,
I said, in my head, I said, you know what? Fuck this. I went to go tell the owner, because the owner was always there, like respectfully, like, because it was a privately owned dealership. I was respectfully, I gotta leave. Like, there's nothing here. Because it's true, there wasn't much traffic in that dealership in
Mhm.
general. Like, even the top salesman didn't make that much, so I was like, I gotta go and get some more money. And he was cool with it. I literally went home that same Saturday, packed up a duffel bag, and drove my ass up to. Well, I lived in Riverside, but the new dealership I was gonna work at was in East LA.
Okay.
The reason I went to Riverside is because of the girl I was dating at the time.
Mm.
She lived up there.
So ladies' man too. Why you mad at it?
Oh, come
There we go.
on. Nah.
And what was like the most money you ever made as a car dealership, or the commission base
It
for
was,
somebody?
it was actually at that new dealership in Los Angeles, in East LA.
Mm.
I made 7 G's in a month.
I'll get the fuck out here.
And again, to me, being 19 with a GED,
That's a lot of
I
money.
was like, damn.
Yeah, that's fucking bread right
what,
there.
Like, what the fuck? But to be honest, it never happened again.
No.
No. After that, it was like a steady median between 3 and like 4 G's.
Okay.
Just because of the way it was all set up. That's all it's really based off, back ends and front ends on how much you can make. And if you
Mhm.
meet your bonuses, that's when you start making big money. But, it was steady, but it was just, at that point, wasn't for me either.
And let me ask you this though. So, what's something that you would advise people that are looking to buy a car right now, or things not to do at a dealership that you know?
The number one thing, and I feel like a lot of people have finally caught on to this: do not trade in your car. If
No?
you have a paid off car, do not trade it in, unless it's an absolute hoopty that you think you're not going to get anything for it. And even then, I would still say try and sell it out on the street, or even try to part it out. Like, if it's something that's like dead ass not going to run anymore. But if you have like a nice, let's say like a 2006 paid off Honda Civic or something, you could easily just sell that on the street and make more than a dealership would give you. Right now, with with what's going on, that they can't make new cars, it's not. Yeah, you can sell used cars for a lot more than you used to before. But at the same time, everyone's got to eat, so the dealership's only going to give you a certain amount, so they can still make their money. So I would just say that always try to sell your car on the outside. Don't trade it in. And then if you have like a loan selling your car, I mean, just look at how much equity you got, and
Try to pay it
see
off.
what your options are. Yeah,
Mhm.
either try to pay it off or find someone that'll actually pay it off for you or take over the loan. I don't know if a lot of people know that you could sell a car with a loan. You're just signing over the loan.
See, that's something I was just informed. I didn't know. I thought when
Mhm.
people were selling like the brand new cars, like how the hell did that happen? So like,
Yeah.
and I think Dave told me it's like, oh, pretty much you go to the bank, get a personal loan, and pay it off, right?
Yeah.
Or
He's got to make sure that they get approved too, just like you had to get approved. But yeah, you'll basically sell the car over with the loan, depending on what it is. And then another thing that some people might not know that you can do, It's called, and you can do this with houses. I primarily knew it with houses. I didn't really know it applied to cars. It's a cash out refinance.
Hmm.
So if you still have a loan, let's say for example, like me, I have a Honda Civic SI
Okay.
2018. Right now it's been valued at 23,000. I owe 10,000 on it. If I want to pull up, because there's positive equity, the car is worth more than what I owe. If I wanted to, I could pull liquid cash out. So I would take the difference between the 10 and the 23, so it'd be 13 grand
Hmm.
that I could then receive cash.
And the car goes bye bye.
Well, no, you'll still keep your car. You're
Oh.
just refinancing it, and you're taking that positive equity. But what ends up occurring is then your loan. Let's just say again, there's a $13,000 difference, and you owe. It just gets added onto your loan.
Oh, so it's just reestablishes the loan.
The loan basically it extends it,
Mm.
and it adds more to it. You know,
So would you do it? Would you recommend doing
personally, with a car, no. You know, especially if you're already getting close to paying it off.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, cars do depreciate obviously a lot quicker than a house
House.
would.
Yeah.
House, I mean, it's the opposite. But you know, if you're ever hurting for money and you think you can work on it like that, especially right now, it may work.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't have to pull out the entire difference. Like you can, if the difference is 10, you can pull out 5, so the loan wouldn't get, extended that much. And then at that point, you can pull out the liquid cash, and then maybe sell the car with the loan. I mean, at one point, a person's really not gonna know.
No.
You know,
Look at you being a shark again.
it's just it's trying to work. It's trying to work the system. That's
Nah,
all it
I
really
feel
is.
you.
You know, you got to work around the banks,
I see.
get some money out of it too.
And so from here, would you recommend somebody to do that job? Would you recommend a car salesman position?
Honestly, right now, I probably would not because I've seen a couple of the dealerships around. A lot of them are like lacking inventory. Like the last time I took my car and my girl's car to the dealership, the Honda dealership, those lots were empty. So it's like if there's nothing to sell, it's gonna be tougher than it was before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and same thing, with gas prices going up and this and that. Like, do people really want to,
Buy another
I
fucking
mean, in
car.
a sense, a lot of the newer cars are supposed to be more efficient on fuel, most of them.
Well,
Or,
yeah.
like hybrids and electric cars now, too, like where you don't even need fuel, but it goes to the same thing.
I see.
Electric cars right now, like Teslas, they're taking forever to get delivered to the customers brand new. So, what people are doing when they finally get them, they're flipping them. Just like how people started flipping shoes, now they're flipping Teslas.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Is that like a real thing though? Like, is there like a hot market for that?
Yeah, especially here because of the gas. You know,
Mm.
I mean, I've seen it posted like in different
Well,
areas.
yeah.
So I see, like that's what they're doing.
I don't know. Like I seen them on like Facebook posts and Instagram posts. I don't know
Mhm.
if there's like scams or like little like a trick shot to it. But
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was like a shoe game at this
Yeah.
point. Holy fuck.
That's what it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if you buy, like a base Model 3 for like 35, 36 G's and you end up selling it for 46, 10 G's over, you just came up on 10 racks, 10 bands. So
Then
it's
you
like,
buy another Tesla, huh? Would you buy a Tesla?
I used to work for Tesla.
Oh,
Okay.
is this job
Out.
number 3 or what?
No. I had to go through a couple loops. So I went from car wash to Mitsubishi to that used car dealership, and then from where I went to Mercedes Benz in El Cajon. Then I went to the Mercedes Benz in Kearney Mesa, and then from Mercedes Benz of Kearney Mesa, um, I did the transition over to Tesla. Yeah.
And how was that whole experience? Because I know that everybody wants to work for Tesla back then. I don't know how about
So
now.
when I first started working for Tesla, that was in 2017. I was a service advisor, so I no longer was in car sales. I was in more on as a service advisor, so the service end of it, the service sales, like
Yeah.
when you go and you take your car to the dealership to get worked on. I was the person that would talk to you, write up your car, ask you what concerns are going on. It was different because of the way their pay structure was at that time. I don't know how it is right now, but basically back in the day, Elon Musk didn't want anyone making commission. Everyone was based hourly. At a traditional dealership, most service advisors are commission as well,
Mhm.
depending on what service you sell, this and that. But back to that main question, working for Tesla was cool, was.
Was.
And again, I don't know if maybe I lucked out that first year that I was there, but I spent a lot of time traveling. At least the first 6 months, you know. And what was weird, because they were ramping up production on everything, they actually had a night crew, like a midnight shift or yeah,
Yeah.
a graveyard shift in a sense
And they would just come work on the cars?
of mechanics working on cars. And my job was basically writing up everything for them and getting everything ready for the people that were picking up the next day. So doing all the paperwork and like helping them out with anything if they needed this and that. It was cool.
And how much of the differential did you see from like a traditional gas fuel car to electric cars?
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot. It's crazy though.
But I hear, I mean, like, and I've seen it firsthand as well. Like Teslas are, productions are kind of like not the best quality.
The quality assurance,
yeah,
from what I remember from when I started to when I left, when I quit,
is different.
Was still poor in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't the best.
I see.
And I mean, it comes down to like how you want to value it, because a lot of the people too, and I hate to say it, just because I get to deal with them firsthand. I feel like a lot of those people that own those cars were entitled. And yes, I understand, that they believe they're making a difference, which is partially true. They're making a difference by driving an electric car and this and that. And also, if you're purchasing a car for $100,000, so to speak, because Teslas would reach all the way up to like 150 grand, 100, yeah, depending on which one you got and what features you got and this and that. I mean, in my sense, yeah, I would want to make sure that if I pay 110 grand for a car, I want that car to be near flawless. Obviously, nothing's perfect, but I wouldn't say that some of those cars were worth their value, at least how they were receiving them. Yeah.
And did you ever come across like an angry customer that tried to come at you, funny, sideways?
Nah, not really, because they understood that at the end of the day, it's not really me. Now, if I have to explain something that they didn't like, that's a different story. But at the end of the day, it's just a matter of keeping calm, trying to talk to them as directly as you can without being rude too, and just taking it for what it is.
It doesn't help that you got a smooth voice, smooth, rich voice. I could tell, man. Help soothe them down.
I assume. I hear that a lot. To me, it's just I have a very monotone voice, but I think it is a good thing, in my opinion.
Definitely.
Because you try to keep that neutral energy and it calms people down, I guess. Or it makes it easier. You ain't gonna yell at me, then you're gonna feel bad. This guy's up here whispering. Nah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So from there, that's where we met at our.
Almost.
All right.
I had some
off journey adventures.
When I quit in 2019, towards the end of 2019, I was actually going through some personal life shit, so I decided to kind of take a break. After I took that break, I was like, I got kind of bored, because before I took the break, I made sure that I was financially stable to take a couple months off, more than anything. And I made sure I took care of all my expenses, before I did anything, and I did. But at one point, I got kind of bored, so I was like, you know what? Let me try something new. One of my buddies from Tesla had someone that he also recommended to me. He was like, go try it out. It was kind of another sales job after that, also based off like commissions. I tried selling solar for this small startup company. I mean,
you're talking about like knocking on doors,
yeah,
type of thing.
I was a door knocker. And that was a humbling experience. I could say, that one's not fun. I'd much rather be at a dealership than knocking door on door on door.
See, but somebody has to do it. I mean, that's the crazy part.
It does. They do. But that one. It wasn't my least favorite, but it wasn't fun at all.
When did you realize, like, fuck this shit? Like, this ain't for me?
Probably like a month in. I was like, nah, fuck this. It's the same thing, just walking up to strangers' houses. It's like, I never had any bad experiences, but you'd get a lot of, fuck off, not interested, open the door and then shut it right on your face. Because at one point, you would know what it is right away. You know, there's been door-to-door salespeople forever.
Or if not, you're a Mormon knocking on the door,
Yeah,
right?
one of the two.
One of those two. I
You're
mean,
either you pushing, you know, pushing something to make money, or you're pushing religion. You know,
yeah,
at one point.
I see.
You know, but yeah, that was not fun. A month, that's all it took. I was out.
That's crazy. So like out of all the jobs, like it's straight away from the car enthusiastic world. And
Hmm.
why cars though? Like why you love cars? What was the reason that got you hooked into cars?
I think it was the same vision that I had, you know, when I was a kid, that even that I still partially have now, that I want to reach a certain point in my life to where I can get things that I want.
Hmm.
Not that I need, that I want. And obviously, you know, to me, cars were just always kind of cool. You know, I still remember the first time I saw a Tesla. I didn't know what the hell it was, and I was actually working at the car wash still.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. I didn't know. What blew my mind was the screen in the center dash. It's called the MCU, a media control unit. Technically, that's what it's called.
Okay.
That, and then the door handles, how they would pop out on the Model S. Like, to me, that was just mind blowing. But you know, I've just always liked nice cars, like Ferraris, Lamborghinis. You know,
Just caught your eye.
yeah. I mean, but again, who
Who
for the
doesn't?
most part, who doesn't really like, you know, those nice ass luxury cars?
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your dream car for yourself? Like if you can have any dream car right now, go out, walk out, hop
Right,
into it. What
right
is it?
now, right now, right now. If I could,
My Prius. I know. Hey.
hey, bro, I would kill for that Prius right now. When my Civic's filling up with $74,
Woo! Fuck that.
um,
I'm doing 45 for full tank.
yeah, see, and it lasts you longer, I'm sure.
Sure.
Uh, I'm sorry, give me one
Nah,
sec.
you're good. You're
But
good.
not to sound cliche, especially because it's out right now. The Lamborghini Urus, their SUV, I
That's fucking
absolutely
pretty.
love that thing.
That is fucking pretty.
I love that
But
thing. It looks like a little snail, and just that
you're,
thing looks like a little monster.
you're talking about like what, 13 miles per gallon or 8 miles per gallon,
Probably
something like that.
shit.
But hey, money's ain't an issue by then.
Yeah,
Fuck that. And then Ferrari made their own fucking version of it recently.
yeah. And you know what's crazy? I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
no, you're good.
Cause I'll look into, like, I still look into it, cause like I said, I'm interested in those cars.
Yeah.
I love Ferrari too, absolutely. If I could get like a F12 or like a 488,
Ooh.
that would be cool. But from what I've been seeing, a lot of people, Ferrari, I guess their quality for their type of cars, their quality assurance isn't as good either.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess it's been in some sort of decline.
Decline.
And I guess there's also some sort of rules that Ferrari has
Oh yeah.
in regards to buying their cars. There's like wait lists, and then just because you have the money doesn't mean, I guess, they're gonna sell you the car.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
have to, like, basically,
Be
you start off,
recommended.
yeah, you have to be recommended, and then you start off with like a base. Like right now, I think the most affordable car, affordable to those who can say that, is like the new the Roma. I don't know exactly how much it goes for. I mean, it's a nice looking car, regardless. It's a Ferrari, you know. But I think you have to start somewhere like small, and then
And
they
then
start
gradually
working.
build it
Yeah,
up.
then they work you up. Which, I
See,
mean,
see how much cheddar you got.
yeah,
That's what's rolling.
yeah,
It's fucking crazy.
yeah,
So now to our current position where we work
yeah.
as a carrier. How's that like for you?
I mean, it was different, you know, because again, coming from where I started up until right now, being a courier, I went from. I'm not saying it's a brainless job, but it's definitely more physically demanding than anything else.
Amen.
You know, you know that very well.
Fuck yeah.
But I mean, to me, yeah, like, I don't. I'm not saying it's dumbing me down or it has dumbed me down. It's just I don't feel like I don't get to use, like, you know, my thought process as much as I used to. You know, and having to interact with
Yeah.
customers on a full 8 to 10 hour basis, as opposed to now, you know, I'll have an interaction for a couple seconds and it's
And
over
that's
with.
it, in and out. And you're right. You mean like that job is very like common sense, like
Hmm.
common sense based. Like get the package, drop
Yeah.
the package off, call to the next. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it's weird when you're not interacting with people as much, right? Like you just like that short conversations. But that's where you make the best out of it, right?
Yeah.
How can you remember that person so they remember me and like make
Yeah.
that communication and bonding where they spot me went on route and they'll help out and give us presents during
Yeah.
Christmas, right?
Yeah.
You meet some pretty interesting people, right?
Yeah, and some people are, some people are cool, laid back, you know. And then you got the people that don't really care, that
Yeah.
they're just there to do their job too, and it's like they don't really want to talk to the FedEx or UPS man. It's just like, get your shit and get out, or or give me my shit and leave. That's fine to me.
Yeah.
So for the most part, I personally, I consider myself a very self-kept and like quiet person
Mm,
for the most part. So it's like, if you want to spark a conversation with me, I'll consider it. But
definitely.
personally, I don't ever see myself going out too much out of my way and be like, oh, how's your weekend going? I'll be like, good morning at most, because
Yeah.
again, to me, if someone's at work, at least, and I can visibly see it, they're not, like the happiest looking person. It's like, yeah, I'll probably leave that person alone.
Deuce.
Same thing, they just want to go in, get out, get their 8 hours, and head home.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
agree. At the end of the day, it is a job, and some people see it as a career, which is
Yeah.
crazy. But more power to them, right? I mean,
Yeah, I think it all goes with the mentality, like when you started and just how you were raised. It's to each his own. You know.
and then so you mentioned to me that your mom, she's also like an entrepreneur herself, right?
Yeah,
How's that like?
she started her own business. I helped her out initially. I mean, I shouldn't say I helped her out, but she's been doing it forever. My mom's never held like a traditional job.
Okay.
Like she's always been one of those like to hustle out. Like she would go to the LA, the callejones, and like used to buy stuff out there in bulk back in the day, then bring it back to TJ and sell it at the swap meets. And like she would have like multiple puestos, like just
Hmm.
working it. And she's always been like that ever since I remember. So because I used to be there for everything. I remember a lot of that. And progressively, she started going up, 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 and up, and up. And recently, in 2017, as I was saying, I kind of helped her. Um, she decided to finally start selling stuff online, and we started her an eBay page, and she started with like health and wellness products, and she was doing good. She still does it. It's one of those like what people would consider like pyramid schemes and
Hmm.
things like that. But it's crazy because I see what she actually makes working there and what she actually gets. Like she's like traveled all over the world. She just came from Paris,
No way.
and that shit was paid for. She's been to Dubai twice. She's gone to like different parts of Asia, and like it's all paid for. Like, and she's still making money off of it. Um, so that's where it started on eBay, and she's still selling on eBay. But now she's moved on. Not moved on. She's added on. She
I don't know.
focuses a lot on jewelry from Mexico, and that shit goes good for her. But she's selling more in bulk than like individual pieces,
Hmm.
and she's already got her clientels like lined up. So she's doing good, and it's crazy because again, being a small kid, seeing what my mom did all her life to where she's at now. I mean, she progressed with it all, and I love my mom. I'm proud of her. Shit,
Yeah.
and that's kind of where my inspirations come from every now and again.
And
Just seeing what she's done.
just to cut you off real quick, you happen to know the eBay page, so we could throw it up there, throw up on there
Let me see if I can find it.
for the guest who wants to check it out and see what your mom offers and
Yeah.
help out the cause. And why not you follow in her footsteps, like see what she does since she's been traveling, or is that something that you wouldn't see yourself doing as well? Or
Mm.
what does Julio see himself doing?
So her page, real quick, if you go on eBay, so I know it, just look up Joyería Artesanal Mexicana. Her name's Martha A. I'm not gonna say my mom's last name. You creeps. No, Joyería Artesanal Mexicana. Look it up, and it's different types. She does sterling silver, the Plata 925 Mexican. It's
Mhm.
good quality silver, and then she does like actual artesanal, so like the beads and like all that. And she has people that makes everything for her.
Oh wow!
She just sells them. Yeah, she's got like, I think it's like 4 different people
So
like
these are all
producing.
original pieces as well.
Yeah, everything's being produced by hand.
Oh,
Everything's handmade. And it's just her like mostly selling it in bulk. Yeah, and she helps people in a sense start their business too,
yeah.
having her business. Um, as far as for me though, like it's been a transitional phase and trying to decide exactly. And it kind of goes back to what happened earlier this year, getting hurt back in April. Um, I had a lot. Like I said, I've been enjoying my free time lately. I feel like something I haven't genuinely had most of my
Yeah,
life, and it gets you thinking about
definitely.
what can come next. What can you use your time for? You know, and more than anything, as humans, I think it's natural to want more in life. which is why I said earlier in regards to FedEx, like, or as a courier, that to each is their own. To me personally, it's not where I want to end my life, and I don't plan on ending it there, or at least my work life. But it takes time to genuinely find something like that niche
Yeah.
that you want to get into. And to me, at least the way I see life, even when you find that niche, it might not necessarily be the one for you to, you know, pursue. Because at one point, those niches are possibly like a hobby to you. It's something that you enjoy doing, something that you love to, get into. But once you possibly turn it into a business and it starts stressing you out and it's like it becomes an issue,
You lose
I
the
see
love.
it. You lose the love, you lose the passion for that niche, that hobby, whatever it was. And then if you're no longer enjoying it, you're no longer going to be able to produce what you were producing at the beginning, you know?
So is that your fear? Is that your fear of losing like hope and love for the things that you love to do as a hobby?
Not necessarily, because I feel like I have a lot of interests. I feel like I
Mm.
can get into a lot of things. My main thing is, again, mostly just finding something that I could cooperate with.
And you know what's funny? And like, not to cut you off either.
No,
Being in the same position, right?
yeah,
Like when I got hurt and I was out for almost like a year, almost
mhm,
2 years. Like when you're working like nonstop, you're wishing like, fuck, I wish I had time to do these things I want to do. But when you're not working and you're like sitting back and recovering, you're like,
yeah.
what
I
am I
wish,
supposed to do?
yeah,
Like, what am I doing with my time? Like, I'm wasting my time. Like, literally, I wake up, eat, sleep, and go back to bed, and like that's
yeah,
the day. It's the day, and it sucks. It gets very depressing. I
yeah.
feel like it gets overwhelming. You see people's on like, and don't get me wrong, social media is very could be a very great platform at the same time, but it could be a negative platform
Oh, of
because you see
course,
people living their life, and you're like, fuck, if they're doing it, like, why can't I do it, or
yeah,
what's my excuse? It just gets like it's a repetitive cycle,
yeah.
which is weird.
It's the struggle. You know what I
Exactly,
mean?
yeah,
It's then again, I can solely 100% relate to it because again, I just got hurt in April, and it's been almost 3 months now. It was 3 months on July 4th, July 3rd. And yeah, it's a matter of finding things to keep you busy, finding things to keep you productive, finding things that are actually going to help you. Um, but yeah, going back, touching back on social media work, I'm not too big on social media. I used to be like, but just like you said, social media could be a great platform, but at the same time, it could be negative. But I think it just depends on how you approach it and what your mental strength or mental capacity really is. Because yeah, especially at points like us where we're hurt and we can't do much, because we're used to working, we're used to doing this, and then physically we can't do them at that
yeah,
time. You start to think about stuff like
stuff
that,
like that.
and it kind of brings you down. But it's just a matter of bringing yourself back into reality, I believe.
Yeah,
But yeah, at the time, like right now, I'm not a fan of social media. I try to minimize my time. I take a lot of breaks from it when I do start back up, but
oh,
it's mostly like little burners, and the accounts I do have, it's just for small stuff. Like it's not to actually like follow people anymore, or like
yeah.
social media like stuff like that.
Do you feel more at peace? Let me ask you that.
Hell yeah! The first time I deactivated my two main social
Accounts.
medias, Snapchat and Instagram. That first week was weird because it's you really become addicted to it. You start to realize that shit that you're constantly checking in this and that. Shit. At least for me,
No, no, yeah.
constantly refreshing shit, seeing what this person's dropping, what this store's dropping, what this the athletes doing. It's like
Yeah,
it's weird, but after the month, I completely forgot about it.
it's like a drug.
Yeah, bro. It was nice not to be attached to your phone. I still kind of keep that since now. Where like I try not to touch my phone that often. But
Oh, fuck.
yeah, it's nice to take breaks every now and again. I recommend everyone trying it at least once.
And what's the crazy part is, social like Instagram or Snapchat would
Hmm.
ask you, "Are you sure you want to delete it?" Like,
Yeah, it's like they know shit. They know what they're doing.
who you playing? Come
Yeah,
on, that's funny. But let me hold on. Let me charge up the computer real quick
yeah, yeah.
before
You
it
good? You
dies.
good? You good?
Uh, you want water?
No, I'm good, bro. I'm good. Thank you though. What's that?
I gotta fix these
Uh,
wires down here.
it's all good. Still getting started in the new spot. It's all good.
All right. And no, do you need to use restroom or anything like that? All right, cool.
Good to go.
Okay. Bro, I look fucking pale.
Saw the lights.
Yeah, man. But so you get off and on, right?
Yeah.
From social media, time to time. But I know you had if I can't say, I know you had mentioned this little business idea that you wanted to start.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Like, want to let people know into this little world that you got going on, this little idea?
The caffeine one?
Yeah.
Okay. So I thought about, starting like a little. I'd actually talked to Vic about it first to see what his idea was about it. I love coffee. Absolutely love it. Who doesn't? Who doesn't love caffeine and shit? And it's just a matter of I don't like putting places down, you know. Like I understand bad reviews of places and shitty service and this and that. But in a sense I had an idea of just doing like a coffee vlog and I was gonna call it Caffeina Chronicles. And to me it's still a good idea, it's still something that eventually I want to do. And again, maybe for fun, maybe for a business, it depends on how it goes. It's something that I considered very, very recently, but I just started to process what's going to be happening in my life, the transitions that are going to be coming, because I have surgery coming up soon. So it's, not something I would have been able to continuously pursue, at least right away, because I'm putting my health first. And if I'm not really that mobile, I can't really go to a coffee shop and stuff like that. But again, to me, it was more so just visiting my favorite coffee shops in San Diego, a little bit out of San Diego, and just showing people what they're about, just showing merch if they have it, showing their drink options, showing my personal favorite drink, and just stuff like that,
And you know what's cool about that is you're actually giving back to the community. A, you're helping out a business.
Yeah.
B, you're helping out other people that are addicted to coffee. I mean,
Yeah.
who doesn't love coffee?
Yeah,
I love
exactly.
fucking coffee, whether it's decaf or not decaf.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then C is like you're tapping into that creative side. You know, and you're exploring a lot more things that you didn't know. And then, boom, like that's what right now, if you look at it, on the social media content that's trends a lot is the foodie network. I mean, foodies is always gonna be big, especially with your like Latino like taste to it, your personality as well, that smooth, crisp voice that you got going on, man. Shoot, I can already see the videos popping up, man. Trust me.
There you go.
So I think you should. I mean, definitely after once you recover from your surgery, did they give you a timeline after how long the surgery was going to take?
So my surgery is the recovery time is gonna vary, and so I have 3 tears in my left knee. I tore my ACL completely, and then both my medial and my lateral menisci are also torn. For an ACL alone, the recovery is usually predicted to be between 6 to 9 months, all the way up to 12 months, depending on what type of functionality you would want. They say if you want to go back to running, jumping, playing sports, and making those quick turns, pivots, it's usually like 12 months.
Oh, crap.
The main thing for me, or at least that they explained to me, is how they're going to repair my meniscus. Because I guess there's 2 different procedures, but they can't tell via MRI or X-rays or anything like that
until they cut it up, right?
Until they actually get in there in my inside of my knee, and depending on which procedure they do, because it's either they cut off part of your meniscus or they stitch it basically back together. If they cut it off, I'll be good to start walking again within a week.
Oh wow!
If they have to sew it back, I guess it's like a 4-week period where I can't bear any weight. So I can walk around, but I'll probably be in crutches for 4 weeks, or hopping around, which still wouldn't be a safe bet. But I mean, to me, I'm hoping it's just they cut it up a little bit, and I'll be back in 1 week walking and starting. Because they even told me that you'll start physical therapy in a week after surgery. Okay, cool.
And for you, so what do you see yourself like choosing? Like if you were to choose, I know right away come back and be healthy, but Like as far as the recovery process, how long do you think you're gonna be out yourself? Do you want to go back to
I
being
want to
active?
I want to be able to
Well,
go
you're
back
young,
and
man.
get
Hell yeah,
active.
what the
Yeah,
hell?
you know, I feel like they all said there's still a lot of years left in that knee,
Exactly.
so it's like I want to get back to doing what I do. I like playing soccer. That's actually how I got hurt,
Hmm.
you know. I like playing basketball from time to time. When I go to the gym, I like to work out legs. Right now I can't squat for shit because I'll start crying, you know. No, I won't cry, but you know, the
Yeah, the
pain
pain's
is
right
definitely
there.
there. It hurts when I walk.
So how did it feel when you like nah, rephrase that? What was the sensation that you got when you heard that pop, or what did you feel? Or did you hear something?
Honestly, right away, it was just like I can't even explain that pain. But yeah, I heard 3 pops before I even hit the ground
Oh,
when all my weight shifted on my left side. And it felt like it reminded me of The Exorcist, where the girl's fucking head just turns at 360. It felt like literally the top of my entire body. So from my knee up, did like a 180 real quick. That's what it felt like to me. And again, with those pops, literally, it was just so quick. Before I hit the ground, I heard those 3 pops. The pain was just crazy at that moment.
there's no video.
Nah,
Oh,
nah,
man,
ain't no,
imagine.
there ain't no video shit. I would have cried even more just
Oh
looking at
my
it,
god.
you know?
Yeah, I think there's video of me when I got hurt.
Shit.
Yeah, it's just fucking old man.
Yeah. I think it would have been funnier for me, though, because when I fell down,
Yeah.
I'm a big dude, you know, weight and height wise. I felt like it was just like a slow fall. At least on camera, I feel like that's what it would have looked like. It
And
was
for
like
you,
a
it's
slow
fucking
fall.
like bam.
Yeah, dude. That like I said, that shit was so quick. Like I don't know. It's crazy to me.
And were you still like, were you walking after this whole injury, like that had happened? Like, walk us through the
So
steps. Sorry, what was going through your head? Like,
so
fuck, you hear the pops.
the day it happened, it popped. I hit the ground. I tried to stretch my leg out. It didn't work. I had to have 2 of my buddies help me up and
Yeah.
off the field. I was playing, like I said, I was playing soccer. I sat on the bench for like the rest of the game, just trying to see if, like, you know, maybe it was just a quick sensation of a pop and then it went back, like a dislocation
Yeah.
almost. That's what I was hoping.
You tough son of a bitch.
And that's what I was hoping for. I was like, shit, that's best case scenario to me. Or yeah.
Yeah.
And I sat on the bench right there just waiting for them to finish up the game for at least another 30, 40 minutes. And the pain was the same. It wasn't as swollen, but I just couldn't straighten out my leg. I had to get helped and limp back, hop to my car. This was in Otay. I had to drive all the way to El Cajon. And I drove my car.
Mm-hmm.
Worst part, it's my left knee, and I drive a stick shift.
No.
So I have to clutch with my left leg no matter what. And just that sensation of having to press down a couple times from there to there was just shitty. The following day, I ended up going to the emergency room, and they did x-rays and this and that. They gave me a shot for the pain, and they gave me a knee brace. I was basically still not able to apply a lot of weight for the first week and a half, maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, right to now, fast forward to 3 months later, I could walk almost perfectly fine. Like I said, recently the pain started coming back, but there was a point where the pain was very minor.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like external pain. Like if someone comes up to me and, like, you know, slaps my knee, like, it won't hurt. It's all internal.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
You know. But it took me, like I said, 2-3 weeks to walk, and I was wearing that brace every single day, because without the brace, I wouldn't trust myself with that. Right now, I got used to it, but I've started wearing it again recently.
You know what's crazy? Like how much like that mind, like the mind and body connection. Mm-hmm. Like your body may be better, but at the same time you're fearful, like mentally. Like fuck, what if I trip and hurt myself again, or like it pops? Like
well, that first month alone, I would feel that literally. I felt like if I wasn't wearing that brace, I would feel like my legs like this, my knees right here. I would literally feel like my knee was gonna fall right out. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like.
See, like for me, with my back, I couldn't even take a shit.
Dude,
I was like literally like.
That was the struggle right there too.
Bro,
that was the struggle right there too. Because again, I'm a tall guy, and the toilet sits small, it sits short, bro. So I would have to like use my upper body to like basically drop myself and then push myself up too. But it was horrible taking
working those tries.
Yeah, bro.
Dips. Oh yeah.
Blew them shits up a little bit, and then I stopped. But yeah, that shit was horrible. It was not fun.
Okay. And since this whole injury process that you've gone through, have you gone to any Patriots games yourself? Or
I've been
just
to a few, yeah.
uh,
But it sucks because all the stairs and shit.
yeah, I could imagine. Man.
So that's not fun walking too much. Like I said, I had to wear the brace.
Yeah.
I have to wear the brace when I go out and like
Well, hell yeah.
do longer walks like that, or just a lot more movement just to help myself out.
Because you never know like what can happen at the same time. It's just again, it comes to that weird environment, like something accidental could be even worse than the situation.
And that's one thing I thought about, but I didn't think about it in that perspective. I was like, well, I mean, what's the worst that could happen? I already fucked up my ACL and my two meniscus. But yeah, it's true because you still have other tendons there and shit, and don't want to take a bad slip or trip and just end up fucking up another one. And
what happened for me, like with the back, I was like, one side of my back kind of like my hip shifted for all the like I can't even pronounce this word, constipation, not constipation. When you're aiding one side more than other, like it starts with a C. Constipating, Anywho.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
You know what I mean, right? Yeah. So pretty much like when that happens, you start putting a lot more wear and tear on the other side of the body. It's never the same. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like even now that I'm like 4 months like out of injury in a sense, like I'm not the same, bro. Like I was walking through Walmart and shopping and my back locked up and was falling on the floor. Yeah. Like it just sucks. It's like something that's gonna be better, but never better.
Yeah, it won't be the same. I mean, same thing for me. Like, in a sense, I'm getting a brand new ACL, but if it's not, organically mine, I don't know exactly how it's gonna. I mean, the doctors say that it's success rate this, success rate that. People go back, but at the same time, it's still also a possibility to tear it again.
Yeah.
And I can even tear it like after, like the surgery, and so I got to be careful, like I said, for that first month.
Well, yeah, that's what happens with all the athletes, and they freaking come back, and then 6 months later, and pop. But man, that's pretty much it. Unless you got anything else to say for us, man, like it's awesome that you're out here. First time out here in the first event in this new studio, so I really want to say thank you.
Yeah, of course, it's always a pleasure.
Little technical difficulties on the screen, but I really appreciate your time,
it's all good. I appreciate being here, Vic. I appreciate the invite. I'm gonna try to make it out again after surgery.
Definitely, man.
So we can finish up, maybe make it a little bit longer, even have you on Cafeína Chronicles. Start it up, a little guest.
Got you going
guest interview, man. Do a little collab or something.
Fuck yeah, I'm down, man. I'm hella down, man. But thank you for coming out, man. I really
appreciate
it.
you, Vic.
And then one last thing right now.
Yeah.
For anybody that's watching, that's still on the show, what's something that you would want to tell them, that you would want somebody to tell you in your position, and you wish you'd heard?
In life.
In life, or this previous injury, or any stages that you felt. Let's say for someone that was a high school dropout, or feels like they're in a steady plateau where they're not going left or right. What's something that you would want them to hear?
I think you have to, especially right now, like I said, I've been doing a lot more reading and self-help, dipping in self-help books and just trying to keep as much positive as I can. The main thing is obviously keeping yourself positive, your mindset up. And at times, you just have to kind of sit back and relax and let life come to you, because if you're constantly looking for something, you're going to find things, but it might not be the right things. And usually when you stop looking, that's when it might come to you. Oh. And it's what you're actually, it's what's looking for you, Let the universe take care of it. Keep positive and still try, but just don't be too pressure, give yourself too much pressure on having to figure everything out, having to look for something, Keep it steady, keep it pushing.
There we go, man.
Pushing P.
Wise words from Julio B.
I try.
All right, man. I'll let you get out of here.
All right, brother Vic. Have a good night.
Thank you, man. Glad to have you on.
Yeah.
We're done.